Hello friends, this is teacher JB. Let us study English. We are studying the book English Grammar in Use, and today we are going to study Unit 38, If I Do, If I Did. If I do or if I did. Now compare these examples. Lisa says, "Shall we take the bus or the train?" And Jess says, "If we take the bus, it will be cheaper." For Jess, it is possible that they will take the bus, so she says, "If we take the bus, it will be." Now Lisa and Jess decide to take the train instead of bus. So later, Jess talks to Joe. "How are you going to travel?" "We are going to take the train. If we took the bus, it would be cheaper, but the train is quicker." Now Jess knows they are not going to take the bus, but the train, so she says to Joe, "If we took the bus, it would be cheaper." When we talk about something that will not happen, something that will not happen, or we don't expect that it will happen, we don't expect that it will happen, we use if plus past. For example, if we went, if there was, etc. But the meaning is not past. What would you do if you won a lot of money? I don't really expect this to happen. If there was an election tomorrow, who would you vote for? There will not be an election tomorrow. I'd be surprised if they didn't come to the party. I expect them to come. So now compare if I find and if I found. I think I left my watch at your house. If you find it, can you call me? But if you found a wallet in the street, what would you do with it? So this is more just less realistic. So in a way, imagination. And this is reality. We do not normally use would in the if part of the sentence. I'd be very scared if somebody pointed a gun at me, not if somebody would. So in if clause, you use past tense. If we went by bus, if past by bus, it would be cheaper. Don't say if we would go. In the other part of the sentence, not the if part, we use would or apostrophe D or wouldn't. I would be scared if somebody pointed a gun at me. So this one, past tense, but it's not past tense. Past form, only past form. I'm not going to bed yet. I'm not tired. If I went to bed now, I wouldn't sleep. If I went past form, I wouldn't sleep. What would you do if you were bitten by a snake? Again, were bitten, so this is passive, and yet past passive. Could and might are also possible. If I won a lot of money, I might buy your house. It is possible that I would buy your house. If it stopped raining, we could go out. We would be able to go out. Now let us do exercises. Complete the sentences and choose the words from the box. Did, dropped, found is used, happened, lost, was, went. If you found a wallet in the street, what would you do? with it. Number 2, be careful with that vase. If you blank it, it will break into small pieces. So if you dropped it, you have not dropped it yet. So in if clause, you use past tense. If you dropped it, it would break into small pieces. Number 3, this notebook is very important to me. I'd be very upset if I blank it. So very important notebook. So if you lose, so if I lost it, I would be very upset. Number 4, I don't expect to lose my job, but if that, okay, maybe happened. If that happened, PPENED, I'd have to find another one. Number 5, we are thinking about our holiday for next year. If we blank to Italy, so it's just like going, right? So use went. If we went to Italy, would you come with us? I don't think he will fail the exam. I'd be very surprised if he did. Okay, here, if he did. And the last one, if there blank a fire in the building, would you know how to put the fire out? So if there was a fire in the building, would you know how to put the fire out? Now, what do you say in these situations? Of course, you don't expect to win the lottery, so you say, if I won the lottery, I'd buy a big house. So B is correct. Number 2, you're not going to sell your car because it is old and not worth much. What do you say? If I sell my car, I won't get much money for it. If I sold my car, I wouldn't get much money for it. Yes, B is correct. If I sold my car, I wouldn't get much money for it. Number 3, you often see Sarah. A friend of yours wants to contact her. Which do you say? If you see Sarah, if I see Sarah, I'll tell her to call you. If I saw Sarah, I'll tell her to call you. So this one, it's not just like unrealistic. So A is going to be correct. If you don't expect that there will be a fire in the building, which do you say? So what will you do if there is a fire in the building? What would you do if there was a fire in the building? Yes, B is correct. You've never lost your passport. You can only imagine. You can only imagine it. Okay? So, I don't know what I will do if I lose my passport. Remember, this is imagination. I don't know what I would do if I lost my passport. Yes, B is correct. Somebody stops you and asks the way to the bank. Which do you say? So it's not imagination. If you go right at the end of this street, you will see a bank on your left. If you went right at the end of this street, you'll see a bank on your left. Yes, A is correct. You are in a lift, which is an elevator. There is an emergency button. Nobody's going to press it. Which do you say? So this is imagination. What will happen if somebody presses the button? What would happen if somebody pressed the button? Yes, answer is going to be B. Now complete those sentences. I'd be very scared if somebody pointed a gun at me. Number 2, I can't afford to buy a car. If I bought a car, if I bought, B-O-U-G-H-T, bought a car, I'd have to borrow the money. Okay. Number 3, if you had a party, who would you invite? Okay. Who would you invite? So it's not, you're not having a party, but in your imagination. In case you have a party, who would you invite? Number 4, don't lend James your car. If he asked me, I wouldn't lend him mine. Number 5, I don't think Gary and Emma will get married. I don't think. So, I would be amazed. I'd be, or I would be amazed if they did. If blank gave me $20,000, this is more like imagination. So if somebody gave me $20,000, long holiday, I'd have. If somebody gave me, I'd have. Okay, I would have. Number 7, you be nervous if you meet a famous person. So this is imagination again, not possible. Would you be nervous? Would you be nervous? Would you be nervous if you met a famous person? Number 9, what blank you do if you be in a lift and blank stop between the floors? Okay, again, this can happen, but still, this is in a way imagination. What would you do? What would you do if you were in a lift, which is elevator, and it stopped? Between floors. Okay, let's go to the next page. The last page for today. Write sentences beginning if. We are not going to take the 10:30 train. We arrived too early. If we took the 10:30 train, we'd arrive too early. Okay, we are not going to stay at a hotel. If we stayed at a hotel, it would cost too much. It would cost too much. It would cost too much. Okay, number 3. There's no point in telling you what happened. You not believe. If I told you what happened, you would not believe. You would not believe it. You wouldn't believe me, or you wouldn't believe it. What happened, comma? You wouldn't believe it. B-E-L-I-E-V-E, believe it, or you can say you wouldn't believe me. Number 4, Sally has no plans to leave her job. It's hard to find another one. If she left her job, It would be hard. It would be hard. Would be hard to find another one. Okay, the last question for today. Kevin is not going to apply for the job. He not get it. So if he applied for the job, he wouldn't get it. He wouldn't get it. Okay, friends, this is the conclusion of today's study. I will come back to you with another unit as soon as possible. Until then, keep studying English and have a great day. Bye.